This is the Wuben G5 EDC flashlight, and it's been creating a lot of buzz in the community. But is it actually any good? In the box you get the flashlight, you get a USB-C to USB-A cable for charging, and you get this little lanyard, as well as a teeny tiny ring to attach it to the flashlight, which the lanyard hole is there. It features a black anodized aluminium body, which is pretty nicely finished in my opinion, and the build quality feels pretty solid. Size wise, it's a fair bit bigger than something like the Olight O-Clip. You can see there it's quite a bit wider and a bit taller, although it is a bit thinner if you include the clip. If you don't, it's roughly the same thickness. So it's still going to be pretty portable for an EDC pocket flashlight, but I'm not sure it's going to compete quite on size with something like the O-Clip. It does have a few rather interesting features though, the first being the way that you turn it on and off. It does have a fairly unremarkable side switch to turn it on and off, but in order to change the brightness, you have this really quite nice wheel, so you can get almost infinite adjustment on the brightness of this light. And when you switch it off, it actually retains that level of brightness the next time you turn it on. So there's a memory. So if I turn it all the way down, for example, so you can see it there, and then I turn it off, the next time I turn it on, it's going to be at that same brightness level, which is pretty cool. When you get to the top, it'll flash once, so you know that you're at the top, and then when you get to the bottom, same thing again, it will flash once, so you know you're at the bottom. But that's not all that the wheel is used for. If you turn the torch on and then you hold down for 2 seconds, you actually go into an RGB mode, and then the wheel allows you to choose the color. And you can just keep cycling through the different colors using the wheel. And then if you turn it off and turn it back on, you stay in the RGB mode in that color. Then hold it again down for 2 seconds and it will go back to the regular white light, and then you can turn it on and off as before. You can also get alternating colors. So if you double press, you can get, there we've got red and green. Do it again and you can get red and yellow, and do it one more time and you can get red and blue, and then you can turn it off with a single press. When you're in the regular flashlight mode, if you double press you can get straight to turbo, and then a single press will turn it off, or you can double press to turbo and double press to go back to the previous light brightness. Speaking of brightness, the maximum on the G5 is 400 and it goes down to a minimum of 2 lumens. And then with the wheel, pretty much everything in between. The RGB colours max out at just 10 lumens. The battery is expected to last up to 65 hours, but obviously that's not going to be on full power, that's going to be in your 2 lumen mode. The body of the flashlight features a magnetic tail, so you can stick it to places and it will become more useful, like under the bonnet of a car for example. And when you have got it stuck to the bonnet of a car, you also have this rather nifty rotating head. So it will go 180 degrees, I guess. So all the way forward, all the way up, and all the way to the other side, which is pretty useful. Just be careful when you're rotating that, however, because this part of the light does get pretty hot if you've had it running on a high brightness for a long time. It does have some cooling fins on the back, but it's still going to get pretty hot. It is reasonably heavy compared to something like the O-Clip. This comes in at a little over 50 grams, and it is IP68 rated, which means it can take submersion. It has a rather nice physical lock switch, so in order to operate the flashlight you need to slide this lock switch up before it will turn on. You can see there it will turn on and off, and if I do that it won't operate, which is quite nice to have a physical lock switch, because some of the locks on some of the other flashlights that I use, you have to remember a different button combination or long press or short press. This, you don't have to remember anything, you just need to slide it. The only thing I will say is that it's very easy to slide. There are some indentations that it kind of clicks into, but it does slide very easily, so I could see it just as easily sliding to the unlock position in your pocket as, you know, one of the lock methods on something like the O-clip. If you slide it all the way to the top, that's how you access the charge port. So you can see on there the indicators for flashlight on and the charge port. But it does make quite a nice fidget toy as well. So I'm likely to have it unlocked in my pocket at any given time because I've been sliding that up and down. It's also got this rather interesting clip, which at the minute you can see is on the side, and it's got a fair amount of play and would be reasonably deep carry, but the head's always going to poke out the top. But you can actually move this round to the front or the back. If you slide this and turn it round to the front, so now you can carry it that way, or you can do it all the way around to the other side if you want to. The only thing I would say is that it's sort of a little bit fiddly and it's a little bit wobbly, but once it's in your pocket it stays pretty firm in the right place. I wouldn't say it's a perfect design, but it does allow you to change the position of the clip, which is pretty cool. Which means if you're wearing it in the front pocket of your trousers, you can have it still flat in your pocket rather than, I guess if you had it on the end there, I'm not entirely sure you'd be able to carry it like that, but it might be better use if you was going to put it on a hat, for example. If you wanted to put it on a hat, it might make more sense that way, but if you was going to put it in your pocket, it might make more sense to put it on the side. Cost of the flashlight currently on Wuben's website is just $25 for this or a green version, and there's a special edition that's $30, which I think is one of the reasons it's becoming quite popular, is that it's a reasonably well-priced alternative to some other models. Like this O-clip's about the same price. Kind of a different prospect, but similar price range and similar portability, so I think they're kind of comparable. By no means the smallest flashlight, but it may be a little bit more versatile than something like the O-clip. Let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on the G5? Do you think you're going to pick one up? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.